What is up, Pal Fam? Welcome to day 53 of Countdown to FIDE 100. And as always, Paul Emmanuel Habaradas, aka Paul POW, at your service with this Countdown to FIDE 100 on this day 53. Well, it's a bit different that I've done this intro that I've done because it's gonna be like so used on telling my name and channel and all the stuff. Well, let's just proceed in the 1976 game between Raymond Keene, okay, interesting enough, and Tony Miles. Now, Tony Miles, Tony's real name stated was Anthony Miles, but it might be confused by a footballer. You're gonna like comment like Anthony Miles, blah blah blah, something like that. Anthony Miles, isn't that a football or something like that? You're gonna ask. So we're talking about Anthony Miles as a chess player, and there's something I've searched which they call it Tony Miles. Alright. It's a 25 move game with a 26 move game rather, with a few variations. I'll put my own variations and some openings book. Okay, let's take a look. The game starts with knight f3, knight f6. Usual after all. Imagining there's something that goes for e4, e5, knight f3, and knight f6. But then there was c4, c5. Interesting enough, it turned into a semi-tarrasch of Queen's Gambit decline and a knight c3, knight c6. Are they like copying themselves with this e3, e6, d4, d5? They're copying themselves. What is this? Symmetrical? Like the opponent goes copy the opponent. But when there's c6, d5 and knight 6, d5, the copying is gone. Now it's asymmetrical. Then bishop d3, c6, d4, e takes d4. Alright. It's cannot go for a take anyway. Bishop e7, and they copy to castle. Then rook e1. Knight f6 goes back. Bishop g5, knight b4, bishop e1. Yeah. Let's see what does the live book stated. You can also go bishop c4. The good chance is knight f d5. Bishop takes e7. How are we now? 2 minutes yet. Knight takes e7. Nothing else. That's it. Something like that. Now back to bishop b1. There's b6 and knight e5. Alright. It's a bit fine after all. We can go for threat of takes, and then we'll try to go for here. Do threaten. Oops. Threaten, checkmate. But in Arutinan Zagnit's game, he takes it, and let's see the live book. Bishop takes f6, bishop e4, knight to d5, bishop e takes d5, knight to e5, bishop e6, queen to a4, a6, queen b4, bishop e7, queen b3, queen to d6, knight to a4, f6, knight f3, bishop d8, rook a c1, rook c8, takes, bishop, knight c3, bishop e6. There's just a few of them, and then it's g3, b5, a4, b4, knight to d1. Nothing else. That's it. That could have been the continuation after bishop takes f6, probably in a 2010 game, but I'm not quite sure about this. Back to the game with knight e5. There was bishop b7 and rook e3. Alright, it seems fine. In the Melia Porcelades game in 2005, he goes a3, and he can have either way to go here or here. If not, he can probably knight to continue the tournament. But the opening book stated knight bd5. Let's take on a new variation. Queen d3, g6, queen h3, knight h5, bishop h6, knight hf4, queen f3, knight takes c3, queen takes b7, Knight check, king f1, queen takes, bishop takes f8, rook takes, queen e4, rook c8, knight c6, sacrificing, queen takes, bishop c5, queen f3, queen takes b2, rook a2, and that's it. Alright, that seems fine. Back to rook e3, there's g6, rook g3, rook c8, bishop h6, and Tony made a mistake with rook e8. Yeah, I don't know why, but he can do bishop d6 after all. And, like, I mean, I know there's something on rook e8 in order to not lose the rook. But this bishop d6, sacrificing the rook, king takes f8, queen e1, bishop b8, knight e2, queen d6, queen d2, knight c6. But that's an engine Saints. But that's, I think it's gonna be awful horrible. But if we continue, there's nothing else. Alright. So going back to rook e8, there's a3. Alright. Seems interesting. You can go on here. But yeah, I think that's the only move. However, I think it's a blunder. Knight c6. I think it's a blunder, but I don't know. If you sacrifice that rook, takes knight c6, knight takes, h takes, bishop takes, f takes, and queen c2, it would have been fine, I think. But it's gonna be over, this threat of queen. So back to knight c6, there's takes, and then bishop, pawn, queen b1, knight e5, d takes, knight e4, knight takes, king h7, knight f6, takes, queen g6, king h8, bishop g7, bishop takes. But it's made into after king g8, bishop takes, and king f8. Now let's checkmate the next move. But since he took it, it's over with queen takes g7, checkmate. What is going on here? Sacrificing tons of pieces. So this pawn, let's just say it's a poisonous one, so it's gonna like take it. And if he doesn't, he goes queen. What are your options? There's no more choice. If he goes here, it's checkmate. Wow, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy, as it seems. Alright, that should be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, POW. Be sure to subscribe and become a Patreon member at patreon.com/Paul POW. Also subscribe to my vlog channel, POW Vlogs. Follow me on Twitch, Paul Habaradas, X Paul Habaradas, TikTok Paul Habaradas, Instagram Paul POW YT, Threads Paul POW YT, and Facebook Paul POW YT. And join the Discord community as well. And get 20% off when you buy any plan on Chess Mood. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow.